So do you want us in the mics?
Yes, if you could, and especially lean in because,
Yeah, I know.
yeah, we're having issues around that.
Welcome, Jennifer. I'm Pat Savory. I was on the Comprehensive Plan Committee. I am now on the Comprehensive Implementation Committee, Comprehensive Plan Implementation Committee, and participating here as well. I'm an interested citizen.
Hi, I'm Penny Pray, president of the Historic Society, which is why I'm here for one reason. And I also was on the comprehensive plan.
Do you want to say anything about yourself? Not to put you on the spot, but, pardon me? Yeah, look.
Welcome.
Just okay, well then I just wanted you to, so there's a couple of committees that you'll be helping me with and I'll introduce you to them as well, although we have 2 planning board members here, so some overlap. Okay, thank you.
You'll be a test in this. Okay, we can do that.
Okay, so I actually don't have a lot of update. I will go through this list, but really what I want to do today is see if I can recruit someone to help head 2 things. So I circulated the attendance sheet. We don't have any new attendees. We did the introductions. I'm just kind of repeating this to myself and for the recording. Jennifer Greenwald, and we do have a town councilor present. Who is happenstance here, but that's always good. And we saw Jim King was out and about. I had made a note to myself, I'm going to ask him if he wants to fill out a formal committee application instead of the planning board. He's currently on the planning board and his schedule is very amenable to that anymore. So I've just made a note. I'm going to ask him to become official on that. And then in general, I just made a note and I wanted to mention that the town council appointed a committee. And as you know, it was hard to get everyone together, a lot of busy people. So in the interim, there are other people who are interested. We have planning board members and we have some staff and some random members of the public. So my idea, and I mentioned it at some point, is just to kind of see how this plays out, get the ball rolling, and then maybe go to the council in the fall, in September, or no firm date yet. I'm just throwing this out because this would be something I would ask all of you to guide me and participate in, is to talk to them and see if maybe does the charge need to be updated, does the membership need to be updated, do people need to be appointed, and some people who aren't interested formally removed. So some cleanup around that. I feel like this is working so far, but I would just wanted to make a note that that would be my intention and to see if anyone has any thoughts on that. Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay. Okay. So the first thing I had was benches on Main Street. I did send a digital copy of the MDOT documents. And I am happy to make hard copies for anyone who's interested. And I'm going to just pass that around so you can take a look and see if it is something that you're interested in. If you could write your name on the yellow sticky on here. And that actually is an extra copy because I have one. So I can make more, or that can be yours, or if no one's interested on a safe paper, that's fine too. So those are the documents I had said I would share. I know that Ellen O'Brien is interested in participating in this, and she unfortunately is not able to be here today, but she is still interested. Excuse me. So what I'm hoping is that, is there someone here who has the ability to schedule a meeting? Because that was something that I was going to do, was schedule a subcommittee meeting, because I know Brandon Robert indicated he could help, with construction. Bren, I had put your name on the list because you're on vacation. And Ellen is interested. So what I wanted to do was to get a few people together outside of here, like a subcommittee of people who had more interest in that one thing, where we could look at the specs, go downtown, measure a few spaces, and maybe come up with some numbers as to, how many benches, and then talk about design, materials, and then, we work through that and then come back to the board with a more specific plan and recommendations. So if there is someone who would be interested in helping out with that, I would appreciate it, because I've not been able to get to it. And I do have an assistant now. That's great. Hopefully that will accommodate more. But I'd really love to see something get out there before snow hits.
You can sign me up, Don.
Thank you.
And Ellen is the PE, former
Yes.
PE civil? Okay,
Yes.
perfect. That's,
Okay, great. Thank you. And I'm happy to help facilitate as much as can. I just haven't been able to get.
and you'll
Gotcha.
provide me the contact information for the individuals you want to have in the committee.
Just the people who have mentioned, I mean, anyone who's interested could come.
And
Mhm. I recruited,
I would come.
okay. And I recruited Don Mattice and Richard Dory from Planning Board to help us actually build them.
Okay,
So they both are engineers, so they may have interest in participating in the discussion. So I, feel like I volunteered you. I did ask, I did talk to them and they're interested in helping. We didn't define what that looked like, so maybe just even involving them on the periphery at this point would be good. So, excellent. Thank you so much, Brian. I'm going to put that down. So I'm going to send you contact information. Okay. And we talked some about the state documents at the last meeting in terms of potentially putting color into a crosswalk, but that we can't put artwork, images, things that would make it a distraction for drivers and potentially be a safety hazard. But that is something, we're talking about benches, but, street furniture in general, I think we could start brainstorming on that around this. And I think side crosswalks probably would come in along, I would think naturally as part of that, where there's seating areas, where the primary crossings are going to be. We already have some identified out there, but or do some need to be enhanced? But so anyways, that's a sidebar. So street furniture right now being benches. Also, I was to reach out to a business owner who was working on they put flower pots out, because we had talked about making, and I have her name. I know what business she works at, but I did not reach out. So I wanted to reach out and coordinate that with her some more and see if there's any way we can participate or help. We didn't know if she had someone to water them, et cetera. So I still will make that communication. And I kind of put that under the street furniture and planters at designation.
her name was Nicole.
Thomas, Mug and Brush.
So, Thomas.
Yeah.
I met her in person. Anthony and I went down and met her, but at that time I didn't know she was doing planters. So I got
She did
connect.
last year.
And she's done fall decorations as well.
She has.
Yeah.
So in keeping with that, decorations. I know the Public Works Department put up, I believe, the snowflakes this year. There's lights different times. There was a group that went to the town council and got approval to do hometown hero banners, which included some elements attached to poles. And as far as I know, that didn't get coordinated with the Public Works Director, so I don't know if they're sharing poles, if there's now multiple pieces of hardware on the poles, but I think that we should coordinate. And I know I always go back to the not stepping on toes. I would like to have a few people take up the charge of figuring out and documenting who's decorating downtown, who the point person is, what they're doing, and then seeing if we can start coordinating all of that. And finding out what's available, because then we can say, okay, well, these decorations go up these different times, and then there's a gap. What could we do during that period?
So the gal that's doing the banners, name is Val.
Val?
Valerie.
Yep.
Yeah, and she's with the Legion. And she wants to do every pole on Main Street.
She does.
That's her goal. Last year, I belonged to the Kennebec Valley Garden Club, which is Singapore, surrounding towns. And we, as a fundraiser for monies that we give to college kids, we asked if we could have those flowers, that wooden flowers, and resident of Winthrop, Debbie Sherman, she did that. She went to the school, and so I think it was the fifth graders that painted those, and John Bear at the school, he did a lot of the work. But I noticed they're moving them around, and then in the fall, Jen Phillips does the scarecrow thing with the Grange, and you're right, I have said 3 or 4 times. But I'm not sure which. So I think you're right, we need to get some kind of process. Gonna be all over the place.
And I know that the flower, when they requested, at least one of the years I was here, and it probably was Deb Sherman, if she's the one that does it, went to the council and asked permission to do that. And then regarding the Hometown Heroes flags, they went to the council. So I believe we have an expert here. In general, is it the policy that when people want to decorate downtown, that they get permission from the council?
Yeah, right now, that's the mechanism that we have to kind of separate it out. Sort of Chamber of Commerce played more of an active role in managing and getting sponsorships. It's a holiday to the Halloween stuff. But yeah, there's no, I don't believe, and I think you and I have talked about this, the council needs to probably adopt some type of resolution that puts authority to make those decisions, whether it's you or this. So we don't run into this. Initially for the flowers, we gave 12 months of like dedicated space, if you will, priority to the flowers that were on there. And for the 12 months, that kind of ran up. And as it, the public works direction and anything else that got approved, then they would move them and accommodate the other stuff. Right now, that's the Legion's flag, memorial banners stuff right now. But yeah, there's no, if 2 people came up to the council at different times, if no one picked up on it, be a
Yeah.
problem. So yeah, there's a need there. And the-
I assume everyone knows Aaron. Do you all know Aaron? No. Oh, you don't? I'm sorry.
Town council,
So.
yes, yeah, worked with you guys a few times. But, and the other thing I wanted to bring up is that I had Anthony crossing lights, crossing swamp, municipal lots to, used to be the telephone.
Another,
A state flashing, flashes, because people are
Be seen.
to be seen.
That's not uncommon at all, the crosswalks,
Right.
to be honest with
Yeah.
you. You have to come out at the tail end by subway in order to be
Yes.
seen by traffic coming from
Yep.
133. That said, that's a really good idea. We'd love flashing lights with the speed limits. We'd love all kinds of flashing lights
The
down there.
state will dedicate, we're allowed requests ever so often, like right now, there's the one at the top of the hill, we have that one.
Right.
But I believe we should be set up to get another one down. So that should be in progress. Sure, I'll have to ask Anthony where we are with that. And then the other thing is that the public, another member of the community had brought up that those trees that are planted, choking. So
I'm the one.
Right. So
I
the-
bitched
good.
the last 3 years.
So the public works director is well aware of it, has ordered and has fixed the situation, is monitoring it. So would make the recommendation for council to adopt the process. Goes through this committee to determine activities can be done on, is there anything really municipal right away?
I apologize. I had documentation right here. I wanted to follow up on it as part of this discussion. The town council has a policy regarding benches, and my understanding is it came as a result, a lot of people wanted to put benches in memorial of someone at Norcross Point. And so there is an application and there's a policy, it's $5,000, it's good for 10 years. I don't know, there's an image, if that's an example, or if like. there's a
I'm sure we
specific
can
bench.
expand that.
So, yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to, because I just remembered that it was right when I first came, and it wasn't online, but Deb just posted it.
Legion.
Yep. Coordinate, because we're talking about taking pallet wood.
Not $5,000
Yeah.
permanent, yeah.
Yeah, I think the other stuff down at this point, a lot of it is being given permission to the Legion to facilitate with our blessing, if you will. Like they have their memorial, they had some other stuff that people could put the tiles, memorial tiles down. And I believe the benches might have been a part of that process. They're the ones that secure it, I believe, and facilitate it with Public Works at least. I don't know where they would stand. So downtown would be up to you guys, I guess.
Yeah, I guess because I had forgot about it and I just looked it up actually today, I want to make sure I coordinate. So the Legion, I can look back at the council meeting when that was discussed and see if there's anything helpful there. But coordinate for it to be better and not.
Yep, and
Gosh.
and make sure I would probably get in touch with the Chamber of Commerce, because I know they've used sponsorships, I believe, to get funding for the holiday parade or community events stuff. So I would try to facilitate a little bit with them and say, hey, streamline this process. We'll have it.
Yeah. I'll task myself with that. I'll get some more information around that. I'll provide you what I saw online, that Deb posted. There's actually a one-page application, and on the information about it, on the other side are some images. And this is the image or an example. So let me get some more information and I can share that with the folks, the short term. We're looking at the logistics of the building.
Dawn, do you want one of us to start a list of what we know is going on for you, an inventory? Because I can do that. I mean,
Regarding benches?
no, regarding the decorations, that you said you wanted an inventory of decorations. And who's doing what?
You'd win probably, or when they'd like to.
I mean, it's the Legion, the Grange, the Chamber, and, but do you need that? Because that's what
I would love that information. I have,
And then Public Works also puts up the flags.
yeah.
right.
One of their- When they go,
They did some early on, and then just 3 weeks ago, they did it.
some more for the fourth.
And it's gonna go, she's waiting until she.
Oh, that's the banners.
That's the banners.
banners.
Oh,
Public
the
Works puts.
flag.
For the summer,
Yes,
for the
oh,
summer.
Yeah.
They're for the summer, yeah. Labor Day.
Are they in conflict, are the flags? Because I thought I remembered seeing when they started putting up
Don't.
they're not, okay,
I haven't paid attention.
yeah.
No, they moved the flowers,
It's
So classic, we don't.
right?
looks like a used car lot.
Right now, we have 3 different things on those flagpoles. We have banners, flags, American flags, and plants or flowers. It's quite interesting.
This is actually the painted flowers. Maybe they think. Inspire.
Deteriorate, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Thought that too. So it wasn't
Yeah.
gonna be-
And they didn't stay up in the winter, correct?
No.
No. So, and who's responsible for taking all of this up and down? Kevin, and it's so approval because he is, yes, who's approving? And I'm, here's Public Works and here's the town council. So, it's like,
I've been to both times when the banners, it's early in the morning they're doing it.
and it's public.
And it's
doing it.
Public Works.
Did the Legion arrange?
We're all there.
Oh.
Everybody that's given money and everybody who's got a family member going up and
It's a ceremony, so to speak.
almost, yes. But it's nice, it's.
How,
It's happening.
just curious question and not relevant. How is it promoted? How did you even learn about it?
Val, she came to you guys.
To the council.
And then she came to the Historical Society to see if we would support it too, and we are.
It was another town that had done it.
Yes.
And sure. So she came here and then I think stayed each time. The
Yeah.
towns.
Who gets a poll and who doesn't? What if they have 20 applicants and not enough polls?
They're going all the way to the top of the hill. They got, oh.
I'm not going to
And
put
they
my
can go
father's
half
face.
day there.
I love him and he was great. Shot down over Germany, all that good stuff, but nope.
I had a family meeting.
My
There
dad
you
would
go.
want his face on Main Street.
So you
I'd start the
to
inventory.
Simulate, like, yeah, what,
I'm going to talk to this person
decorations.
here. She's going to help me.
yeah, that would be great. Sorry.
It's just to get something started, right?
Yes, yes. And knowing who the contact people are, and then we could look at that and say, okay, what's the best way?
Who's responsible for the Christmas snowflakes? And those are sponsored by local businesses. That's all. Kevin,
I
and,
don't call that coming to us, to be honest.
and it's probably older
being
than
called.
your tenure. It's probably longer because
I
they've been
think they've
doing
only
it.
done snowflakes.
Yeah, but before that.
It's
Light.
Like, it's like
yeah.
snowflakes now,
Yeah.
but they're doing both now. But
Maybe
I think it's,
wreath or something?
Yeah, Reese.
I bet it's long-standing, I think, and it's Public Works, but they do something. I bet you they just go out there and do it unsolicited, right?
Well, they come around, I know, because I've been at the History Center, they come and they do the lights on. And they do it during the daytime because they have to use the lift. And,
But somebody
And they fix the
sponsors,
lights.
their sponsor
They are.
signs. How's that
I'm
happening?
guessing it's the
The bus-
chamber, but it's my guess.
All right.
So yeah, if you could start accumulating
find
that
out.
information, that would be super helpful. And then who owns them, who buys them too?
the banners, people are making
If I wanted to put my father's face on Main Street, I would donate $100. The banner would cost 50 and the other 50 goes to the Legion. Yes, I'm swinging numbers here.
So like the snowflakes for Public Works. Seems like we maybe own them, but if we wanted to freshen up the look or we wanted to like, does that go to the council? Is that like not really something the council looks at and it's the community who does that? And
I know that
thing.
I know that Kevin stored the flowers after they put the scarecrows. So at Public Works, I am assuming same for the Christmas store.
The flowers
So
and the
he would
Christmas
know.
lights. He would probably know what goes on for Christmas and
Okay.
who cleans up the scarecrows? Probably the people who put them out there. I still want to know who's
do.
collect, it must be the chamber. It must be the chamber.
No, I think that.
But if somebody's collecting money to put a name sign up there on a snowflake, to sponsor, it's got to be the chamber.
So this is something I've raised at a department head meeting. I've raised it here. I don't have an answer. I'm just floating the idea until someone goes, oh, okay, that someone has a good idea. But what I've done in the short term, we talked about calendar and events, what's going on, who's doing what. So I started just on a Google Calendar. I created a downtown revitalization. And I imported things from Facebook that I saw that businesses are doing. I put in basic information about things I knew were occurring, like the Christmas parade and the scarecrows. And so I started to put all that stuff on there. It's very rough. It doesn't have maybe correct information. But that was my thought at this point, is to have some reference where we could look at it and maybe come up with a better, I can share the calendar with you guys if you think this is a good start. Like I have the vault on here, their dates, and then I saw on Facebook that the Absalom, I don't know how you pronounce it, Absalom site.
Absalom.
They had a mini market. They had an event going on there that I thought, oh, I wouldn't have known about it if I wasn't looking for it. You know, the community, people are looking for stuff. So
Their third anniversary is this weekend, and then that market's the following weekend, same weekend as the Heritage. So
yeah. So we're
You-
talking,
are you thinking that's a good place to put it?
well, in the short term, I am. This is not something, this is like, so I have a calendar. I have a Google email through work, a Gmail, and we have a calendar associated with that. And so I use it for my work, but I've created another calendar in there that's just downtown.
About the town website.
We could, so we talked about this in a department head meeting and here, and someone at the department head meeting said maybe the chamber. But, so I printed, the chamber actually has events on there, but it's not in the format of a calendar, which for me wasn't as user-friendly. Give me just one moment here.
Yeah, and they put on, the chamber puts out a newsletter via email with events.
Newsletter. And if you go online, this is what I found online. So some of those I put in, dumped into my little calendar, but I didn't see an actual calendar on there. I just saw you could, there's a drop menu, you can look on, look at.
Maybe because we're a member, we got it at the History Center screen, it's actually on my home. But it had every date that they were having. Meeting,
I
and
wonder
where
if
they were
that's
gonna be
what
and
it-
who sponsors them.
So back to the town website, where the department head's not eager to put a community calendar on the website.
I think that it wasn't embraced at the time. People didn't have a chance to really digest it. But there was that thought of, well, what goes on and what doesn't, like right
And
now.
who's gonna do it?
So,
Where would you go to look for a community calendar but the town website? I mean, doesn't it seem logical?
That's something. School. If
The
there's
History Center.
history. See. it's- Richard might know.
You're absolutely always wanting to coordinate. So these are town events, library, school, but then businesses have events. And wouldn't you want it all together?
personally, I would, but I don't know, it could get messy if people, because I saw you nod your head. And then what business events do you put? And is some business going to say, hey, you didn't put my event? I can see where it could get messy.
To submit?
Would think. Is like I use, so I have like the skylight system
Highlight?
integrated. Town schedule. The screen. If I don't see something.
Mm.
So it's like, ooh. So counts. I think there would be a way to take chamber to be able to change their ooh. See.
If anyone here has,
He's also
I get the messiness of who does what and when, but isn't a collaborative community calendar just an awesome way to improve the communications in this town?
Yes, my only concern would be where do you draw the line?
And does the line need to be drawn?
Fred's Barbecue.
Yard sales.
You're right.
Okay, those are private
I'm just
persons.
saying, you got to draw,
Right.
so is this
Yeah,
just
some-
specifically for businesses in town?
I would say for businesses and and town events and business, like, shame,
Nonprofits?
hmm,
Nonprofits?
Maybe.
maybe. I get the messy, and we could come up with a guide, set of
Absolutely.
guidelines,
Absolutely.
You'd have to.
because I think one of the places we can best communicate is start putting that kind of easy information out.
I think it's a great idea. And
Yeah.
if you could go to the town website.
And this isn't my idea. Dawn's the one who's been talking a collaborative calendar, which, yeah, gotta be. Yeah.
Partner with Johnson Hall.
I'll check out their websites and I can reach out to the Main Street people, that Main Downtown Center. Thank you. Okay, so I know since I've been here, I still have a hard time understanding what goes on, who does what. And I haven't found someone who knows all of it. So that's why I keep going to it. And I'm also hypersensitive to stepping on toes. So like, it seems like, oh, there's a gap here, we'll step in. Well, actually, someone was already doing that. So I think it would be critical that we coordinate and make sure everyone feels they're heard.
Calling bell at some point, right? Just say, hey, if you are a stakeholder in anything that goes on downtown, you need to participate in this committee. And then, I mean, they really do.
Yeah,
And so, moving forward, if they have, whether it's the chamber, whether it's the Grange, anyone that has interests in what goes on downtown physically or whatnot, I would put out, a call and say, hey, we're going to start going through this and probably streamlining it. You need to start participating if you want to continue being a part of that. I mean, you guys do have that ability. That's why you're here, right? Present that.
Shouldn't if the chamber said you had to go through them in the sense of who are you, you had to announce yourself to them, then I would think that could be a beginning of a group. What I see is a bunch of stuff everywhere, and it doesn't seem. I agree with Dawn. I think it's really very difficult to try and get in something like that
Absolutely.
without stepping on somebody's.
Right.
Excuse me. At the same time, feeling, well, what is it we should do to make it better? So, I mean, if you could talk to them and see if they could say, everybody has to announce, don't put a thing up in this town, not a thing, nothing. Don't collect money, don't do anything without the permission. The council, first of all, I think people should collect money without somebody knowing they're collecting it and for what reason. But if you have permission to do it, then the council will know everybody who's doing something. And then perhaps those people could be nice, say, go have a little luncheon or a picnic or something and get together with each other and then go forward with maybe new ideas, the old ones. That's my thought on it. It's really got to go back to somebody who has authority.
Yeah, I think
There's no authority anyway.
that's right. I do think times I think coming to the council is intimidating. For some. So I almost think that it'd be worth developing a process, delegating authority, council to say this committee, and as a planner, to say, hey, here's a calendar, it's times, what's the process, see the liability risks. If you ran into conflict, you could go to the council. It really it's long overdue.
And it's a benefit to the business owners and the town. And here's a classic example. There's this wonderful thing that happens every month called the Vault, and then there's these things that happen in town, like a holiday parade. Well, Nikki's very careful not to schedule the Vault weekend on a holiday parade weekend. So she needs to know that information. So there's a reason why you would want business information and town sponsored activities in a singular calendar. Yeah.
I'm going to share this. I think I can invite you all to this calendar. So it would just be us, whoever we invite. You can see like kind of what, and again, it's just like Facebook. I went on some different websites. So I have the Winthrop Sports Boosters Golf Tournament on here. It must have been the school calendar. Sunshine Shakedown at Homegrown Acres. I don't know. I was just trying to start to put things together, and it may or may not be appropriate, but I'll send it out. And it won't be to the public, so we can all just kind of
Look at it, right?
So, okay, so I do want to keep coming back to the calendar. I don't know what the solution is, but we've had some discussion here. I'll send out this shared calendar and keep it on the agenda for the next meeting. Does that sound fair? Okay. And then that's going to do look at the decorations. We've got that. Okay, moving on. So the budget, we talked about at the last meeting, part of the process to become a Main Street community is you have to have a budget for the first year. We're not at that place yet, but I think it's prudent to start thinking about what are the expenses going to be, and start, putting a draft together. So I reached out to the Main Downtown Center to see if they had templates or examples, or because I don't think that I would anticipate all of the expenses that would be incurred. So they didn't have a template, but they said, great idea, we may create one. But I looked at a couple of other towns, and I picked up some things that I wouldn't have, and I did start to create a template, but things I didn't think about that maybe we would have to have separately, like we've talked about. Hey.
That's the man we were talking to.
Just volunteered you to do all the decorations.
He's fixing something. Let him go fix something.
Some compliance that we care about. Don, what I wanted to say, you were talking about a budget. Don't put that discussion off because
Budget discussion.
because we are in the black. Be talking about. See if we have money that we're gonna have to divvy up into the funds. I can't think what it's called right now, but the reserve funds. So I would get that in front of us. And so that way we can, because it doesn't have to be a ton,
Yeah,
but we have money that's going to be available that we are going to divvy up. And if that gets you guys available to be able to then reach out and get that downtown, what is it called? The downtown fund or and become a downtown
Main Downtown, well, the designation is.
designation.
Yeah, is a.
But then you'd be able to access other networking stuff, right? And so I would get that in front of us.
So, and
See when we're going to talk about it.
yeah, if you could, that would be great. But some of the things like, we should probably have a website. Like looking around, and a lot of towns have their own website. We talked briefly about, well, what would be a catchy name? Some have catchy names or slogans, some don't. But they usually have some place you can find what they're doing as an entity. Then, so do we need will we need any money for technology? Printing, promotion, is that stuff we're going to be able to figure out on our own and with advisement from some of these other communities in the Main Downtown Center? So there were some things on there that I hadn't thought about as including as separate line items. I was thinking we would probably do it ourselves, but realistically looking, I'm thinking, oh, we probably won't be able to do this ourselves without a lot of effort to find someone and coordinating, and then we lose time and the possibility to have fundraisers without being able to let people know about it. And so there are things. So I do have a little draft, and I will send that out to people so you can brainstorm and see if you have ideas of things that, hey, this isn't really relevant, or, have you thought about these things? It's just a very short little table that I've created. Most communities have like a paid staff person and, office expenses and this and that. We don't have that. So that's good. But there are some of the practical measures in there, like decorations and, that sort of thing.
So there isn't a defined date, but it just says later this summer, we'll have a discussion for that surplus, whether it goes to capital reserves, whatnot. And just, that's so as of now, closing the FY '25, we're $1 million in revenue above budgeted projections. So
Yeah.
it should be a no-brainer to be able to get count going and then Nick be able to establish it. So you guys have some put stuff wherever you
Yeah.
end up going with this.
Yep. It's great, Aaron. Thank you.
So I initially thought budget was, what is our budget to be, what do we need to pay to become a main downtown member? But it sounds like they want to review a budget that we've developed for downtown revitalization before we can.
That's part of
it-
the application
okay.
process.
Oh.
So, and I'll send this out again because you weren't here then, but they have some steps. You have to first create a committee. And, some really basic steps. And one of them is come up with a 1-year anticipated budget. So,
Edges.
Yeah,
well, the pallet wood was for a reason.
the
It's free, so.
Hollywood might be free, but the screws won't be.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, so the budget is for running the operation. So they're going to give us all kinds of input advice, maybe point us to be able to apply for some grants. But in order to have events, to have the decorations, there are things, if you needed a staff person, I'll send you the sample and you can see, but it's operating, it's moving forward and doing things downtown as opposed to the membership there. And that is a fee, and I think it's 500 right now. And it's more when you become the next step up because they give you more training and access to people. We're at the very beginning. So, but they're so great. They respond quickly when I ask about stuff. An example being, we talked briefly about a map, a downtown map recently, and Pat took on the task of looking at, I had just come up with something I had found online, and she was looking at that, the practicality of it, and I reached out to the main downtown center and said, can you assist us, provide us resources, examples about having a downtown map? I sent you 2 more today, I think.
So it raises a first question. What you had originally given me, and I took a look, is a digital map. Great, but is that what the town wants? Then Dawn sent me 2 examples of printed hard copy maps that can be kept on counters at stores or table tents in restaurants or flyers or leaflets for our summer residents. The digital version, I went in, poked around, free trial. I went free means it isn't always free. So I went and looked at pricing, and the bare minimum was a $330 expense for annual. And what I'm assuming, without looking further, was probably they're hosting our digital map. You're paying for that, and you're also paying for ongoing access to the software to maintain and update your map. So it's a line item for a budget to begin with. Either way we would choose to go, digital or printed, you're going to have an expense. And you probably could get a printed version out of the online. But, so there's one line item. If you want a map of the town that grows with where the beach is, where the library is, where the police department is, where the town office is, where this store is, where Kevin lives, oh, where he works. Where the public restrooms are, all those kinds of things that we aren't there yet, right? It's just, and ongoing updates. So I'm interested in, does the town want one? Do we want one? Do we warrant one? Are we Ellsworth or Freeport or Camden or, is it a good expense for us right now?
Coming through, and I know that this isn't the time to have the full discussion, but even just like coming through downtown, you wouldn't know there was a beach or a beautiful library, or, there's resources right off the main street. So I'm hoping that it'll go in the direction where it will inform people more, but it is an expense, absolutely.
If you were to take a poll, what do you think would be more beneficial for the town? Digital or printed?
Honestly, I think both.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Get the campgrounds. Maybe. look at the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Digital and, but they want a piece of paper in their hand. Or in their car. When they're moving.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Digital.
Let me go back and see if,
Planning before you
Map.
make a trip.
let me see if MapMe allows a digital printed version off of what you create and see if that's a way to head our thoughts. If not, there's certainly a printed version can be uploaded and made accessible and work online too. So I'll look at MapMe again and I'll get back to you.
In one of them, was it Biddeford? Someone sent, it was really an
Biddeford.
artist
It
rendering.
was
right?
Biddeford.
Wasn't, they used artist, I think they
It-
said.
Yeah, it was. And we would have to, we could probably start ourselves, but you probably would want a graphic artist or a designer to create the ultimate printed version if we didn't start with the digital.
Mhm.
So let me go back and look at the digital product again. I may try the free trial, but I don't want to get locked into
Yeah, yeah. forgot to
having to
cancel
pay
it.
anybody anything. So I want to be very careful about that, so.
Okay. So now you're looking at maps and decorations. Are we
Yes.
overloading you?
Just have nothing better to do with LA.
It's fun. I think it's fun.
Actually, on those maps, there often you have advertising. There's advertising on
that's
them.
actually-
Your exam.
They pay for them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sponsor the map. And then the wayfinding signs, and yeah, it all gets tied together. I did make a note I had on here about sidewalks and crosswalks, and I did make a note about the light that Aaron commented on and this.
Does Kevin know about that, though? That I had requested Anthony reach out to the state DOT to put a crossing at the crosswalk in the municipal parking lot to across to, I can't think of what's on the other side. Yeah,
The old stone building?
this is about a year ago.
No.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
there?
Oh, yeah, there is. It just
Wants a light.
flashing the light, because
Light sign.
some town, there was some complaints early in the year. So it was a complaint, there was an almost pedestrian almost got struck. Because they have to walk out past the parked cars on the subway side to try to cross to the other way. So Anthony said we had, I guess through the state DOT, we were allowed to request one right now, and that they would provide it. And so I know he sent that in, so yeah, I would.
Yep.
Yes. That's a state road.
He got his license plate.
So you have to maintain it? Huh. Oh, great. Okay. Okay. AKU.
Oh, 90?
But we-
9 grand.
Were we able to get that insured? Thank God. Good.
Private cam caught the little
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
mishap. Is that where you got the?
You know what? Good.
Good.
For you.
Yeah. That's right. And that's what Anthony had told me.
Yes, it is.
We have to maintain it.
Nothing to do us arts.
Thing else to fix, right?
Yeah. It sounds like a budget line in your budget.
Are they pretty effective?
to promote and market and do things for the businesses. I think our chamber needs to. They've had a lot of leadership changes.
Yes.
No, I'm doing something. Christmas decorations on the light poles. You hang snowflakes and lights. And have historically, I don't know if you did this past December, they were sponsored by businesses. There were sponsorship signs before your time, I think, maybe. Do you know anything about that? You don't? Right.
I thought they were new.
So it's you in the chamber handling Christmas, basically. Okay.
Yeah, so
Yes.
we talked about earlier about using process in the town. So if a organization wants to put something up, instead of, them coming to the council every single time, maybe it might be, so we don't run into overlap issues. Like when the flowers had been put up, they asked for a dedicated 12 months, essentially, and then as available till someone else had something they wanted to put up. And we knew that was probably good because they weren't painted sides, and so as you're probably aware. But I do think it would be important, whether a committee like this or Dawn, the planner, or you, if they had an idea that you could like end up being the, yeah, this is this time and this has the snowflakes. So, and also, so there's not like a pile of stuff on each. I know, yes. And there's a liability there too, right? So they had talked about developing probably a policy, I'm assuming, right?
Well, that's come up. Yeah.
And I think that's appropriate. Like, and I don't think it needs to come to the council every time either. Would think maybe Dawn and yourself would be able to help coordinate with them.
I thought was the committee. And I think you're thinking people because efficient.
Well, you
But
could always
giving
delve
people
your
what you're
authority.
saying, as opposed to having
Always
one or two
delegate.
people decide. Yeah, yeah,
You could always delegate your authority.
yeah.
Committee and come up process. Gives it to you, then you bring it to committee, and you collectively come up with, yes, yay, nay, or modify it, that type of thing. That's why I said it's really important to put that call out there to anyone who has a stake in what goes on downtown needs to be coming to these meetings.
And we do have, I remember he reached out to me specifically to say that something had come up and he wasn't able to come, but he's still on board.
Came to one meeting.
Yep.
Mhm.
And they are looking at getting a staff person, and he mentioned that maybe that person would, but they are aware and on board that they are going to have someone. Mhm.
Yeah.
Especially where it's been so long with since.
That's an This is the fourth year in a row I've listened about, heard about
Yes,
that.
it is. Me and my mouth had it a long time ago.
Not a fifth year.
Yeah. Well, Matt used to see me coming about middle of July and he'd go, oh, I know what you want. It's on the schedule here. Just a question, does, okay. Sure.
We've talked about, doing a sign inventory and coming up with some design guidelines to have attractive signs downtown. And when we talk about things like street furniture and building facades and having design guidelines, this is the kind of thing tree grates, like, we're not there, we don't have any guidelines, but how are those gonna get picked? Now there's no guidance, right, on what.
We haven't said any.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Just wait till you see the sign that's going in. Oh. Teresa. Oh. Gonna-
So I don't have anything new on the farmer's market. I mentioned the sign inventory because it's on the radar, but I don't have any new information or suggestions at this point. But anything that people want to add, just let me know. Or if you feel like we're beating a dead horse and take something off, just please let me know, because I'm doing what I want right now. But I'm advisory, so whoever you want to change any of this, just let me know.
How about an item for new business?
Okay.
We don't have a central place in town other than Norcross Point. But let's start considering a Christmas tree. A Christmas tree. A holiday tree. A-
What about in the municipal parking lot?
A town lighting.
Did?
It's there, no, I mean, it's there. It was, Public Works had, I think there was an issue with maybe the source. Was doing that tree rate at municipal pump.
Oh.
There.
Um,
To a potential Christmas tree.
Don't think-
I think it's our, that one is church. I think. Boat and Kennebec Savings used to be lit church and people used to. bring lights.
We still,
So that one always has headlights. Little.
Where is it?
It's, so the post office and the municipal. Between the two. The Public Works had lit it a few years. Tree. Trees. It's the tree.
does,
Initially. Was place.
Do our Hallmark tree lighting event, right? Got it.
See. Tree.
Let's, let's talk about it. Okay?
On the agenda.
Okay.
I'm gonna go look.
Me too.
He's gonna go look. He's gonna be like.
You can report back to.
It's a simple thing to do. It does, it's just lighting a tree. That's
could be a 4th of July tree, it could be Memorial Day, you know? Come on.
Right. A light bill. Then you budget, so you designate that line item.
I'll put it on the, when it comes around.
Yes. It's
And downtown is already pretty magical, but let's make it even that.
We'll use our sleds. How was that?
Mike, you decorated.
Digress.
So I feel like we have some action items that are set out. I will send you the transcript from Zoom at the next meeting or maybe the meeting after. Now we have some assistance. There's notes from previous meetings that I'm going to provide for everyone to review. I know that, I don't know if you want to formally adopt them. But anyways, I'll send them for you to look at because it could jog your memory about different things or things we haven't touched on that maybe we did in, August of last year. So I will get those out to you on the next agenda. I'm going to add another business or new business. You said new business. And I have tasks, things like sending you the contact information, et cetera. So the link will go on to YouTube. There'll be a channel if you want to reference anyone to look at it. You'll have the notes will actually be transcribed into just simple minutes. And just remind you that when you go on the town website now, you can sign up for e-alerts. And now there is a downtown. You can sign up to be notified anything downtown related. So if you talk to people and they seem interested, just send them to the website and we can send them. And that's like low-hanging fruit. They don't have to commit to anything, but if they're aware, they may say, hey, I'll help out with this, or, you know, just to know stuff's going on. So, yeah, please try to spread that. And then the next meeting I have is for August 6th. For coming.
Thank
to
you.
These meetings.
Doing your job.
You made time for us in general, so that's great.